Hi, welcome to my latest video. Today I'm going to be removing my K&N air filter to clean it, because it is a washable, reusable filter, and I'll also be using some of this, which is a cleaning kit and oil by the looks of 2 bottles in there. I bought this a while back actually when I first fitted this filter, and I've never actually used this, so I'll open this up, we'll see what's inside, we'll see what we need to do. Here we go, the bottom's already open on the box. Right, let's see what we've got in here. Right, instructions. Right, okay, so apply a cleaner, rinse the filter with water and dry it and then oil it. Okay, so I'm not going to worry about reading that in detail, that's pretty self-explanatory. So what I need to do is remove the filter. Let's have a quick look what we've got here. What's this? Air filter cleaner. Okay, so it's a little spray, kind of pump spray bottle. There's some sort of soapy liquid or something in there. So I shall remove the filter, we'll spray it with that, give it a rinse off with, it just said with cold water, and then this is a drippy bottle and some sort of oil, so I'll squirt a bit of that on it and put it back in. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually remove the lid for the air filter box here. Now I've got these blue silicone hoses on here. This was just some sort of kind of replacement duct that I created and put on there in place of the black factory duct that was leaking oil all over the place. I've currently got my crankcase breather on recirculation mode, so it goes through my catch can and back in here on this aluminium joiner that's got a sort of a spur piece sticking off it, a little pipe sticking off, so any crankcase fumes are going back in and being reburned. I had to do that for the MOT just so there were no issues with dumping the fumes out to atmosphere. So the catch can is still doing its thing here, collecting all the horrible oily rubbish that comes out from the crankcase breather. Oh, look at that, there we go. So that needs emptying soon. Haven't emptied it for a couple of months, so that's about a third full of oil. So I shall take the bottom off the catch can a bit later on and empty that out. So let's get this lid off here. First thing before undoing the 4 screws is just to kind of pop this plug off here. This is the mass airflow sensor, which measures the airflow. It's a sort of hot wire type 4-wire. Pretty sure it's 4-wire. Yeah, it's a 4-wire type. So it has some sort of hot wire, and it measures the resistance, the cooling effect of the air going in. So it, as well as measuring the air flow, it's also taking into account the temperature and probably the sort of humidity and density and whatever of the air as well. So it gives a better sort of value for the computer to use than just simply measuring flow or temperature. Let's just get these screws. Now these screws here don't actually come all the way out, they're the type that just sort of loosen. Let's lift onto the battery. There we go. I'll just quickly point out here, this is my new polyurethane cast air horn bracket, because the 3D printed ones were slowly melting and sort of bending in the heat, and the horns were kind of dropping down. You can see here that this one is holding out well. Actually, the horns are still nice and solid and sort of not touching here or here. So they are being held nicely in place by this bracket, and it is removable as well, which is great. So you can get to the fuse box if you need to. If you'd like one of those brackets for your car, then beaverspits.com. I'm selling these, and one of my earlier videos shows how to fit the air horns themselves. Okay, let's get this 4th screw screw out, well, not out, loose, and now here's an interesting one. Let's talk about the air horns being removable, and I've actually had to lift them out. So what's going on here? I don't think that screw's quite loose enough. Okay, so this is why you need to disconnect the mass airflow sensor, because you won't be able to move that out of the way or lift it if that's still connected. So what I'm going to do now is reach in, get the K&N out. Now, luckily there's no water or anything down in there, but there is quite a lot of dirt and evidence of muddy water that's gone in there. This hole at the bottom here, I'll be doing a video very soon about that and how to bung that up so that if you go wading, water doesn't get drawn up into the bottom of the air filter. I've seen it happen and it ruined the engine. Okay, so this side is the engine side of the air filter. That's actually pretty clean, of course. That's the atmosphere side, and it's not too bad. This has been fitted for about a year now, I think. A few dead insects and things like that. So yeah, not quite as dirty as I thought it was going to be. So what I will do now is apply some of this cleaner stuff. Now, I don't know if this is like sort of corrosive or anything. It might be like sort of alloy wheel cleaner or something like that. I don't know. So can't see any safety warnings on the back of the bottle, although what's this? Do not breathe spray, wash hands thoroughly after handling, wear eye protection, gloves, da, 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 da. Okay, so it sounds fairly sort of nasty stuff actually. It's not just soap, that's for sure. It's kind of chemicals, degreasing chemicals by the looks. So I'm not going to spray it here. I'm going to move this down, take it over to a drain and spray some of it on there. Just wondering whether to put some gloves on. I ought to, really. I'll go and get some gloves as well, and ought to put some goggles on too. So right, I'll do that. Let me get safety first, get my gloves and goggles, and then I will spray that stuff on there and then give it a rinse off. Okay, so I've got my gloves and goggles on. I'll give this stuff a bit of a shake. The instructions say to apply this on the dirty side of the filter, liberally apply this cleaner, leave it to soak for 10 minutes and then rinse with cold water from the clean side of the filter, so it pushes the dirt off the element. Okay, I don't know if that's enough. I'll leave that to soak in and I'll give it a rinse and see what it looks like. Okay, that's been about 10 minutes now. I'll turn the filter over, so that is actually the clean side up. I'll use some cold water here just to rinse that off. Is it any cleaner? Not really. That looks the same to me. Oh well. I'll give that a rinse from that side as well, just to see if it washes off a bit more of that dirt. But you can see it there. You can see the colour difference. You may need to get some warm soapy water on that, maybe. Not sure. Trying to follow the instructions really. It did say flush with clean cold water. what I've done. I've left it for 10 minutes. Doesn't really look any different. Okay, I'll give it another rinse and we'll see if it gets rid of that dirt. Here's another 10 litres of cold water. This time I'm putting it onto the dirty side. It looks a little bit cleaner, a little bit. I'm hoping that when that dries, that might look a bit better. You can still see the dirt there. Okay, so the next thing to do is to let this dry naturally. Okay, so that means shaking it off and putting it in the sunshine, which is a bit in short supply today because it's November, so I will put it on the radiator inside, and I'll have to remember not to drive my car whilst this is not fitted. So what I'll do is I'll leave a note on the dashboard to myself to not drive, otherwise I'll be driving without an air filter. Right, let's get this dried off and then I can oil it and refit it. Okay, so here we are the next day. This has been drying on the radiator all night, and now that it's dry, it is actually looking fairly clean. You can still see a slight discoloration of the dirt there, but it's a lot cleaner than it was. Okay, so I'm going to now refit this, and then I'm going to oil it with this red oil. Okay, so the instructions say to refit the filter when it's fully dry, and then put the oil along the top of each of these sort of ridges here. And the idea then is that it kind of soaks down in so that the element is oiled all the way through. I shall do that now, and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, so that's the element back in, and now what I'm going to do is carefully apply. I was wondering why the oil wasn't coming out. It's got one of these foil caps on it, so I need to get that off and try again. I don't know what's going on here. It's still not coming out. Okay, I was wondering what's going on here. The oil just refused to come out, even though I'd broken this foil seal there. There's a sort of a bit of paper cap kind of blocking the nozzle. So I need to try and hook that out. If I can't get that out easily, then I'll have to just carefully pour it from the bottle, but it would be nice to actually use this squeezy nozzle thing. So right, let me get a screwdriver and try and hook that out. Right, let's try again. Good. Okay. Okay, so there we go. K&N air filter element, nicely oiled. It's a nice sort of red colour all over, so that shows that the oil soaked in evenly all over the element. So I'm going to screw this lid down now, reconnect the MAF sensor and start the engine and just see if everything's okay. Be interesting to see if there's any smoke or anything out the back as that oil sort of possibly gets sort of drawn into the engine. I'm not sure. I'll have a look and see. Okay, that's that screwed down. That's reconnected. Let's put the battery cover back on. What's going on here? Yeah, just watch that wire there. Make sure it doesn't get trapped. Okay, right. Right, I'll give this a quick start up and just see how it sounds. Right, let's just start up. Seems okay. No smoke out the back. I thought some of that oil might have got drawn through into the engine and burnt, but no, it seems to be running fine. Right, there we go. All done. K&N air filter. Cleaned, dried and oiled and refitted. That should keep it going for a while. I'll pull it out again in about 6 months and we'll see what it looks like. I hope that video is useful. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.